Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Terrifying Tuesday, and we've got a lot to talk about today, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so we've got to talk today about a couple things. This isn't the video I really thought I was going to be doing. The video I thought I was going to be doing was just going to be talking about one topic, and that was going to be Screamboat Willie. We were going to talk about this movie because we got the first look at the character, Screamboat Willie, and it looks really cheesy, it looks insane, and I thought it was worth talking about. But then all of a sudden, just like it's been doing lately, more Scream news hit. And this particular Scream news is different because a lot of people are telling you this is a massive spoiler. And they're right. It is sort of a spoiler, but it's something that we have all been discussing and all been talking about. So if it turns out to be true, then this doesn't really change the narrative that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of places have been reporting for quite some time. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about the Screamboat Willie character and tell you my thoughts on it, and then we're going to jump into the Scream 7 news. Now, I do have to tell you when we get to the Scream 7 news, and I will remind you at that point, that there are potential spoilers for the plot if the details that have been reported turn out to be right. So let's get into this Screamboat Willie news. Now, of course, the new Screamboat Willie movie I'm talking about is this one here that is just called Screamboat. And it is scheduled to come out this year. In fact, just around the corner. Now, the Screamboat Willie character in this movie will be played by David Howard Thornton. And you might remember David Howard Thornton as the Art the Clown character in the Terrifier movies. Now, this isn't necessarily the scariest looking character I've ever seen, but it does give off this sort of creepy vibe. And based that we know what this movie is going to be, we could assume that this movie will probably be played a little bit for laughs. It's also going to maybe, hopefully, have a little bit of gore. And we get our look and we see that he's wearing the very traditional Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie costume, except that he really is a giant rat, a giant mouse, whatever you're thinking he is. They kind of state that he's a rat, which, okay, Mickey Mouse is obviously a mouse, but that could boil down to making sure that they aren't stepping on those copyright issues at all, because granted, even though the Mickey Mouse character is in public domain under that one cartoon, the Steamboat Willie cartoon, just that version of Mickey Mouse is in public domain. So of course they have to come up with ways that they aren't stepping on that. And in this case, they're just calling him an anamorphic giant rat who goes around killing people. And okay, that's different, I guess, but it really does lend itself to a bit of cheesiness. I think this movie's still going to be a lot of fun, though, based on what we've heard, because they have promised us that he is going to be hilarious and murderously entertaining. Now, they said that this looks to be a very different movie, and it's going to be a blend of blood and laughs, which, okay, that is what I just said I was hoping for, so that's a good thing as well. And then, of course, seeing David Howard Thornton play this character is probably going to be pretty amazing. I could see him bringing this character to life pretty well, making it a very amusing movie. He does a good job at what he does, and I expect this movie to, at the very least, be entertaining. Now, the movie actually does follow a group of people embarking on a late-night boat ride in New York City, only to find out that Steamboat Willie is going on the hunt for fresh tourists. And it's kind of crazy. But the movie is scheduled to come out on January 24th of this year. So that movie is just around the corner, and I thought we had to talk about it. Now let's get into the Scream 7 news. Now, mind you, I am telling you right now, there could be major spoilers for the plot of Scream 7. Now, we have to talk about this though, because it is something that some people do want to hear about. And so I kind of say right now, if you are absolutely terrified that this little minor detail might end up being true, or I say little minor detail, but in fact it's quite a big detail, but if you are concerned about it being true, then you might want to avoid this part of the video. And I won't be hurt. But here's the thing. I don't personally think that this is too much of a spoiler, because a lot of people have been talking about this for quite some time. People have been pondering that this is what he was going to do. In fact, if you've watched our channel, we have said that we believe that this is what's going to happen, essentially. Only Daniel RPK actually says that, and are you ready for it? If you're afraid of spoilers, now is that time to click off. I'll give you a couple seconds. All right, so if you are still here, this is the details that he is claiming are true. That there are multiple Ghostface killers in this movie. Now, we usually are used to seeing 2. In Scream 6, there were 3. And in this movie, we're possibly getting a couple more. Now, they don't tell us how many. Daniel RPK didn't say how many, but he did say that there are going to be some, and that's kind of where we are. So, what does this tell us if there's going to be more than 3? Well, it tells us that if there is possibly going to be more than 3, it tells us that the cult of Ghostface is happening. And that's kind of what he's saying, that this is going to be several people coming after Sydney, coming after her family. And I think that this is not as big of a spoiler for Scream fans, because we are used to kind of knowing a little bit of the plot before we walk into the movie. We are used to knowing that there's going to be at least 2 killers. We are used to knowing this before we go into the movie, and knowing that they're taking a step back now that Kevin Williamson is the one in charge. Of course, everyone was pondering that we were going to get the Scream 3 plot that he had to abandon due to real life tragedies. And now that seems to be the case. We're going to be seeing multiple Ghostface killers in the movie, and we're going to be seeing this kind of cult of Ghostface. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be something that is unique. It's going to take this movie in an entirely new direction. I can see this working out very well. And if you've watched some of my videos, I've pondered why this would work very well. So for me, this is a win on my channel. If this turns out to be right, then I was one of the people lobbying for this, telling you that this should happen. And why? Because I think this is the way it needs to go, to take Ghostface into more movies, more situations, other things. You can have that Kirby spinoff. You can have that Sam spinoff if you want to. You can go back to Neve Campbell, being that she will probably survive at any given time that you want. Essentially, this is the win-win, to have this cult of Ghostface that has always sort of existed behind everything, in the background, now suddenly come to light, suddenly make itself known. I think that that's going to be something that's really cool, and I think that's going to help this plot move along. Now, that being said, that is what we are dealing with. That is the potential spoilers, and that's really all it is. But a lot of people have speculated that this is going to legitimately be the cult of Ghostface. So that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. Are you excited to see the new Screamboat Willie movie? And what do you think of this potential plot leak of there being multiple Ghostface killers. As always, we want to know what you guys think. Don't forget to leave us a comment in the comment box below. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation as well. And then make sure you hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Then Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.